I got
Yep.
you back. All right, all right. Well, without further ado, this is the Jawber Report. It is July 6th, and I July to you. It is August 6th, Thursday, 2020, the year of our Lord 2020, the high pages and pathways, the the fucked up year since 1919, the Spanish flu. We are here. Big D is in the
What
house with
else
a
gonna
Denver
happen in
Nuggets hat.
21-21?
21
Guess
21.
I guess we'll never know. Well, we had stuff happen in 1919, 2020, and
And
then
then,
21-21. But
well, if we live that long, I don't know, something funny. Insert there. This
uh,
is MJ. We got Big D, Milwaukee, Raleigh, Wisconsin, Denver Nuggets T-shirt. This is a well-traveled man right here. He's been everywhere, man.
yeah, just
Uh,
like Johnny Cash.
that's right. That's right. Except now it's Johnny Credit Card. Oh no,
Listen,
Johnny Crypto.
declined,
Oh no. Well, no, they're
declined.
not accepting. Did you like? So we were at Target today. They're not accepting cash because they don't have enough change.
Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. I heard there was a change deficiency, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
So I don't know what to say except we want things to change.
But
All right, that doesn't warrant a laugh. All right, fine, whatever. I'm striking out on these jokes. So you watch Raw? The Fiend showed up, my friend.
yes,
Um,
yes,
with
he did.
yeah, Big D was very excited. I couldn't watch Raw or SmackDown, so I was trying to I was like, okay, WWE update, update. I literally watched it like 3 minutes after they put it up,
Hmm.
the segment, and then I also watched the other segment. So I guess let's just jump in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as it was going, like, because I mean, they started off SmackDown with the Firefly Funhouse, and pretty much gave a warning to everybody. I was expecting maybe more than like I was expecting multiple people, perhaps but not really sure. I was like, I don't want if they get too many people involved as far as you know if he's going to go on a attack, you know, for age, just looking for Braun Strowman or luring him in or something, whatever. I thought that would be kind of weird. But then as the show kept going, I'm like, man, are we? I don't know. Are we going to get a? Are we going to get the Fiend? Are we going to get something? And then it got to the last match, and it was the Bailey versus Cross.
Yeah, Nikki Cross
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right. So if something's going to happen, it's going to happen.
with Alexa.
Either I wasn't, yeah. Well, I wasn't. I didn't even. It didn't dawn on me that it was Alexa until it happened, and then I was like, why wouldn't it be? Because she was involved in the swamp fight scene. Um,
She was the swamp fight.
yeah, and so when it happened, it clicked. It made sense. It's just like there's so many like faint things, just like so obvious, and it's so in our face, but we don't. It doesn't click until it clicks. When it happens, we're like, oh. So when it happened, I was like, yes, and I liked that she didn't. She wasn't like I don't know. She wasn't like trying to get away or anything. Um, she was just kind of like frozen there and just like kind of like accepted the fact um, that something was going to happen.
She was like a bunny, a rabbit.
Yeah, yeah,
She's like, oh
right.
shit.
He brought that manimal claw down. And I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, he was all gentle.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go down. Um, and that is the hand that he uses. That's his hurt glove. Um, now was this used just primarily to lure Braun Strowman in which he should show up next week, if anything.
Oh, Strowman.
Or maybe we don't see Strowman until, I mean, maybe he does hold himself back till SummerSlam. But what this does to Alexa, I don't know. Um, it could just be a simple lure him in. I love that the Firefly Funhouse. It started with pretty much like a scuba Bray Wyatt. He was searching all through the swamp for Braun Strowman, couldn't find him. So where is he, kind of thing? And uh,
Even though he drowned him, I must say, like, did he just let go? He's like, see you later.
I don't. I mean, it's a lot of that's a lot of dead weight. So I mean,
Yeah.
it could just um, but yeah. So it's. I mean, I was happy. I was excited. Um, and yeah, just the way that he got the mandible claw on her, just nice and gentle, and just bam, there you go. Um, yeah. So again, like how this is going to affect Alexa Bliss in the future, if anything. If Yeah, I mean, there's not. It didn't really bring up too many questions as far as okay, like now it's Strowman's turn to do something.
Is she gonna be Sister
Uh,
Abigail then?
I don't think so in the long run. It might be a short term, like um, Sister Abigail ish kind of thing with the match, as far as just like using her as a puppet kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, which I think is a nice little reference to the Firefly Funhouse and all the puppets. Um, could she be? Could she show up next week as a puppet inside the Funhouse? That'd be really cool. I think that'd be awesome if they did do that, and then have it so that then it kind of references that there is a way that these puppets are. They do have a human form. I think that would be a great way to kind of open that kind of door. Um, Many people are referencing the doll during um, the feud with the Miz, and Miz's kid had the doll in her room.
Mm.
Um, so that could be what this Alexa Bliss could, and I don't think it has any connection to it personally, but I think it would be really cool to have the Firefly Funhouse and have there be an Alexa Bliss puppet there, not her real self, but a puppet of her,
Hmm. That'd be kind of
and
creepy.
then have that like, okay, so now who's Rambling Rabbit? Who's you know,
The
uh,
pig.
you know, Big Boy and the Huskus? So it's like it kind of shows like, okay, so these people do have a human form. I think that'd be really cool if that were to happen. Is it? I don't know, but I think that'd be something really. Now that they have an opportunity where something like this has happened to do that, I think that would be great.
I think Alexa should show up at the Firefly Funhouse as the Alexa puck, and he could just talk. And the Amazon Alexa, he just talked to her. He's like, Alexa, change the lighting to red. Sorry,
Changing light.
play some Fiend music. um, so just for everyone that's watching, Big D texted me as like right after it happened. Yes. Because I have the little Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan. Yes, 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 yes. Because
yeah.
we've been talking
Because I
about
think it
this.
was. I think I waited. I think I waited till it was. I just was like, yeah, I'm just watching it. I gotta watch it. And then I think I texted you like right after.
I couldn't have watched it
Yeah.
anyway, and I tried to watch it, and that didn't work. Um, so I was glad you sent me that because I was like, I couldn't wait. I was just checking it. Like immediately, I still have the text here. One thing that was disturbing to me, and I realized that I do concentrate on the bad things. I'm always like, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? So I apologize. It is my predisposition to do that. Um, but I'm seeing it. So I'm still gonna raise one concern, which is the damn title. Like he wants Strowman's belt, and you're like, okay, no, there's no need for that at all. He could still have the belt, you know. But that was my only hang up with that. It was like, okay, he doesn't need the damn
Right,
belt.
right. And I don't think we talked about it on here, but the whole
Whole Goldberg
potentially
fiasco.
no. Goldberg, no. Go. I don't want. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that name.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
gonna send you some Goldberg gifts now.
and
Goldberg.
but no, they have. I really hope it does. But to get that connection with Randy Orton at
Yeah,
Survivor
you
Series,
did mention that, so they could.
because now with this Braun Strowman coming at SummerSlam, it seems like it's going to complete that circle that Bray Wyatt is doing. So now you're kind of thinking ahead and saying, okay, now I'm going to pull out a Goldberg reference of who's next. Uh, so now you're going from SummerSlam to I can't remember what pay per views after SummerSlam. Well, they got the pay per view, and then you got Survivor
Post.
Series.
It's Backlash. No, we already watched Backlash.
Just, um,
I'll check it.
yeah, so now you're kind of thinking, okay, so who is going to be next? And now you're seeing Randy Orton kind of rising above, and now he's in a title
Payback,
shot. If he can get that title, okay, payback. Okay, I was gonna say I knew there's a B
dude.
in there
Payback.
somewhere.
So
Uh,
Payback will take place August 30th. It's scheduled, which
okay,
is just 1 week after the SummerSlam pay per view.
okay, I did hear something about that in the date. I was like, okay, that's where. So like, pay. So it's gonna be a quick one. So perhaps that means like maybe a lot of things are gonna happen on the
They could just make
30th.
it pay per view, just everything pay per view.
Right.
I'm
I
digressing.
mean,
Please.
are you gonna have like something happens where Orton doesn't win it at SummerSlam, but then wins that payback, or something where, but no. So thinking forward to Survivor Series, that's the only pay per view where you have Raw versus SmackDown. Um, Last year they included NXT, so there's a lot of triple threat matches, and um, there was a lot of Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. I I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but with Randy Orton getting in the title picture, if he were to win the title, Bray may be seeing this happen, and in order now that it's actually a possibility, Bray wants that title so that he could actually be able to get his hands on Randy Orton on set Survivor Series without having to worry about being drafted. Um,
The,
Either one like have to worry about jumping brands. Um, so in my sense, that's where he doesn't necessarily want. I mean, he does say he wants. He does say that he wants it. Um, but I think also like he needs like that's a key that he needs to unlock a door to get to where he wants to
hmm.
go.
So
And
SummerSlam, you're thinking SummerSlam or Payback is gonna be, or do you think that's when Randy Orton's gonna win? If I'm getting this right.
I think so. I think so. Yeah. And the way that Randy Orton has propelled himself this whole year, pretty much. Um, I wouldn't mind him winning a title. Um, and the way that Raw's going, anyways, it's just Raw's really weird, especially with the main event or with everything almost. It's just like, okay, although Randy Orton kind of came out of nowhere, just like his RKO's, um, and now he's in a title shot. Ziggler's
Yeah.
disappearing. There really isn't really any structure. So if you put a belt on Randy Orton or keep it on uh, McIntyre, it's not doing anything. But if you could put the belt on Orton and have that lead to something where the Fiend and him can get involved, um, I think that would be better for business. And then you could have possibly that cross brand feud and have him be somehow involved on each episode of Raw and SmackDown. Um,
Randy Orton, you mean?
and Wyatt, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm excited that the Fiend is back. So um I'm hoping that Orton. I don't know, man. I like Drew McIntyre. To me, wasn't so too exciting. If that makes sense. He
Mhm.
wasn't too exciting as a champ. But oh, look what he had to work with too, man. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's kind of like yeah. I do you feel like they're kind of starting to lose their like for him, like WWE? Do you think they're losing a little patience with Drew McIntyre? Or
Mm. Possibly. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not all
no,
his
no, no, no,
fault,
not at all.
really.
But you know, he
There's no one else there to. Um, I don't know. They're not. I don't know what. I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, Lashley was an okay feud because Lashley could put up a fight with him, but now that's gone. Ziggler came in. That was exciting. And now that flatlined. Um, so it's just I don't know what it is, and then I just feel like this Orton and McIntyre feud. It really there's no backbone to this feud either. Um,
yeah, it's like nothing personal. And Drew
right,
McIntyre's fighting for the people in the locker room, and like that's great, man. But how about the fans too?
right,
You know,
right. So I mean, I'm not really sure where this is going to
like
head. But if
it might be a
anything,
good match, though. It might be a great
uh,
match.
yeah, it could be. I would just like to have it have more of a purpose. I mean, and that's where Orton being put right into it, I feel is where that's a reason that he's going to win. Um, could Edge get involved, and then that's where a payback match happens? Is Edge versus Orton at
I was
payback or
just thinking
something?
Edge. I'm like, watch Edge shows up at SummerSlam.
Right, right. So that's where it's just
He's got
like,
a forcep now, you know.
um,
They added an extra muscle just in case.
are you gonna get Ziggler in a payback kind of mode coming up?
That's th
Like, so there's a
that
lot
was
of
the question I
options.
asked on Twitter. You know, people that got involved with us. Like, what happens to Ziggler now?
Uh,
Like, he was a great threat. Okay, he was a great threat, but he got smacked down. No pun intended. And that was it. Like, where's Ziggler at? Where you at, man? Like, I saw him on a segment like afterwards, like a WWE Network exclusive. So he was there.
mhm. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was just looking up the schedule of pay-per-views. So we still have a while till Survivor Series. I don't know why I was thinking it was earlier
Is
than it
Survivor
is, but
Series like towards the fall there?
it is. It's yeah, it's 3 days before Thanksgiving.
There it is.
So we got plenty of
How's
time to
Thanksgiving gonna work
yeah.
this year?
Really, there'll be plenty of turkeys, I'm
We're gonna
sure.
have a Zoom Thanksgiving with everybody.
So yeah, so
Rem-
we got SummerSlam. Oh, uh, and Payback a week after. Then we got Clash of Champions, Hell in a Cell, Crown Jewel, and then Survivor
well,
Series in November.
they're
So
definitely not
there's,
going to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel.
I can't imagine that's going to happen at all, unless they just do a Crown Jewel um, at the Performance Center.
They're gonna have to do
Um,
everything in the Performance Center, no?
yeah, which I mean, it is what it is. I mean, um, it's better than it was before.
Do you think it'd be cool
Um,
if they actually set up like full-on stages as opposed to just changing the colors?
it would be nice. It would be nice to actually change
Cause,
the scenery,
they
some of it.
have the
Um,
so when you watch the entrances, they have that augmented reality stuff, which is like the 3D, like as the camera's going in, they have uh whatever like the character logos are and things like they have those and they look pretty good. Like you could just set up, you could make a little augmented reality sets or just augmented reality a little bit. I don't know if they can do that with all the cameras. Maybe I'm over exaggerating here, wanting way too much.
right.
But that'd
Probably
be,
just that. Probably just that one
but
camera.
yeah, I guess that's what they're doing with their the swamp. All those
Right.
cinematic matches, which yeah, we got to talk about these ninjas, man. They just keep appearing.
I mean, I don't think the actual ninjas are. I don't think like because I believe you're talking about
Uh,
the people that were attacking the
But they were they were
whatever.
lighting something on fire. What were they lighting on fire?
That was the like I had to do with the electricity. Um, 'Cause that's why like so in the beginning of SmackDown they were talking or no was it no it was Raw beginning of Raw they were talking and then the lights dimmed down so it was like they lost like power for a
Yeah.
second
Oh no,
and then it happened again.
they were turning.
Go.
Gotcha. They were turning the electricity.
So that was like a power a circuit power or whatever some type of power source um, and that was happening during the first match as well between MVP and Apollo Crews for the title. Um, Apollo Crews or MVP lost, so Apollo Crews is officially still the United
Officially
States
still.
champion. But, but MVP was trying to blame it on uh, you know, the power going in and out and all this and that. So this group of people, which apparently is a new faction, it's not ninjas. They're
Got
just people in
in
hoods.
ninja outfits.
Um, they're just like just yeah. So apparently the name of the group it was possibly leaked as Retribution is apparently the new name. Over the past week, WWE got confirmed of licensed names, which MVP, um, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin are now known as what is
The
their name
hurt.
now? The Hurt, the Hurt
Yeah,
Club,
some it
or the
was like
Hurt.
hurt something because
Uh,
they showed up to WWE Underground, which is another thing we're gonna try to hit up.
yeah, oh,
The hurt
the Hurt
business. There it
Business, the
is.
Hurt Business. So W got confirmed legal rights to the Hurt Business and the word in the name Just Us. So JUSTUS. So it kind of sounds like justice, which they assume that was possibly what this group of
Cool.
hooligans, if you want to refer them. But apparently they got it got leaked, and their name is going to be the Retribution. Who the Retribution is consisted of
Yeah.
um, is still a mystery. Does this have to do with
Uh,
like a segue off the hacker, which apparently is no
yeah, the
more?
hacker was so
Um,
cool.
then there was a couple other things that happened where um, the hacker still might be going. Apparently, that the circle shape of the hacker, which was also
Yeah.
with Mustafa Ali, now it's no longer a part of Mustafa Ali's entrance video. There's no more circle anymore, and it's not on his hand anymore. So they may have taken that away from him to kind of show that it's not okay. So it's not Mustafa Ali. So maybe the hacker is still in play. Um,
Oh. Well, I'm hoping, but
but
like
yeah, so
CM Punk.
because I mean the whole thing was like Mustafa. They're like when Mustafa Ali came back, like oh, it's not Mustafa Ali. And now this last week they showed someone was talking about it social media of he had his hand up and there's no more light on his hand, there's no more light in his video, so perhaps now like they're separating Mustafa Ali away from the hacker so that they can continue that
What did they do to Mustafa,
story.
man?
um, I don't I don't know, it's like
uh,
yeah, there's no excuse, they put him in a tag team with Ricochet and um,
and the other guy.
um,
I don't know. I don't know his name.
such Cedric Alexander, and yeah, they put him in a triple threat, and then now he's not. Yeah, I just and he's losing. He's losing. Um,
It almost seems
yeah,
like
I
if
don't
you're
get it.
gone, you got to job a little bit to get back, unless you're like, unless you're a
True,
huge
but
draw, like you got to work your way up.
right, and that's. I mean, that's a lot. That's a way harder to do without anybody backing you up. As far as it could be the fans. It could be like there's just nothing. There's no leverage to you know get these guys that are jobbing.
Oh,
Um,
excuse me. Yeah, yeah, there's yeah, it's difficult. Like we're at the mercy of social media almost a little bit. It's like how else are
true,
you gonna like
true,
uh as far as ratings, that could be I don't even know what the ratings are, but I know that uh yeah, they're definitely struggling. Everybody's struggling though, so but it
true.
was sad to see Mustafa Ali come back and not do anything.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like it was almost like if he almost had to come back as the hacker of how much he was involved in rumors, and once he wasn't, it's like oh okay. Same thing happened with Liv Morgan. She was doing her whole um, Twitter posts and stuff, and hinting that she was going to be changed and come back as part of like the Wyatt family, um, some sort of character with Bray Wyatt, and she came back, and that
No,
was not the case. Uh, and then now look at her; she's barely hanging on. There may be a rejuvenation of the Riot Squad. Um,
that was during the
so
KO
maybe
show.
she's
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So so it used to be Ruby Riot, Liv Morgan, and another lady she's not there anymore. Um, but so now they might be recreating
Yeah,
that
we got
faction.
the Riot pair.
Yeah, yeah. So um, as far as ratings, everything went down. Raw went from actually
Yeah.
Raw went up from 1.6 to
Ooh,
1.7. So almost 100,000. It went up. Smackdown went down almost 100. And NXT went up almost
where's NXT at
150,000.
right now?
755,000.
Yeah, I don't want to say a better show, but yeah, a little better show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't like the. There's a couple. There's a couple. Well, there's actually only one match that I don't really care for that's happening.
Yeah,
But
well,
other than
like
that,
I enjoyed the NXT, man. That was
so let's see what AEW. I was trying to compare here with AEW. AEW is actually at
oh
nine hundred
damn.
thousand. Uh,
They're
and I don't
climbing.
understand. I don't understand why. Um, it's, I
Have you seen it lately? Have you
I don't
watched
know.
like I haven't watched AEW like I just see kind of like a couple
I,
of things
I,
here and there online, but I just don't I don't have cable.
yeah. Um, Actually, within the last week, they went from 773,000 to this week
Damn.
901. So it's almost a 130,000 jump. So I'm not sure why. Um, it could have been. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I'm not sure what the spike was. Um,
Maybe it was Zack Ryder coming.
maybe because he was the internet championship. Uh,
Dude, Zack Ryder looked jacked up on AEW. He was like
he did. He looks.
yeah,
Yeah, he
like
looks
twice
good.
Cody's size. You're like, what the hell? He's been on his Hulk Hogan, Wheaties and vitamins.
Right. Um, Bischoff. Bischoff was on AEW, so I was like, maybe that has something to do with the
Oh,
ratings.
really?
Eric Bischoff was there. Yeah, he was mediating a debate. Um, yeah, so they're yeah, he was there. So I don't know if that had
I'm
to do
I'm
something
gonna
with
have
it,
to
but
I'm gonna have to
I'll have
start
to watch
watching
it.
AEW a little bit.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm, yeah, it's just really weird of uh,
Yeah, I caught NXT last week too, so
how
that was or not last week, but yesterday.
yeah I'm loving NXT every week.
It's more
Um,
chewable, it's more edible that show. It's not 3 hours, man.
right,
It-
right. Hey, and they fit in a lot. Um, they still have their little promos here and there, but they fit in the matches. The matches are they're just performed so much better. Um, they might have, and they don't. And it's like they don't have as many botches. And they have their moments, but for the most part, every
they
single
also
match
yeah,
is
sorry, go ahead.
pretty solid. No, it's just pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still having little issues with the kicks, but Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes, I'm trying to remember his name. I told you, like, I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
It was kind of old school. If there was a crowd, like, they were just working the crowd, even though there was no crowd, they were working the audience, I guess. Because that audience to me
Right.
doesn't count. Like, it's good to have somebody make noise, but as far as, like, the engagement of the audience. They're just telling them what to say, what to. It's like, whatever.
But
Um,
I mean, to do that match and still kind of, tell a story throughout that match, and um, especially with the size difference. Um, Keith Lee, kind of taking his time a little bit, setting up his some of the, like just being methodical and um,
like I
but
don't think Keith Lee moved a single muscle in his body that he didn't need to, man. Like not even his face. He just looked determined, and he just sat there and waited. And but
mhm,
yeah, just that whole match reminded me like of old school matches. I was like, hey, I remember this shit.
yeah,
It's like you don't need to do 8,000
right,
moves and all this fancy stuff. Like I sat there, I was like, hey, they're working the strongman style, like the big man, like
uh,
that was great. Like you don't need a ton. They told a story. It was great. I loved it. I enjoyed that match, and I was like, Yeah, I texted you that. I was like, dude, that was a great match. Um, so
Yep.
Keith Lee, like he's definitely like hands down for me outside of the Fiend. He's like one of those guys I'm really looking forward to. I liked his
Yeah.
story too. Like I caught his story, where he came from, and I don't know, you can't but like pull for the guy, and he's
Right.
just he doesn't look like a your typical wrestler. He looks kind of like Yokozuna, like a slim Yokozuna. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's too much. But he is just a big guy, and he's let's call it an endomorph to be polite. Because yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever, he's not like those muscular dudes. He's just a big dude, and the stuff that
Right.
he can move. He can do that style where he jumps and does all that shit, but he doesn't need to. And
Yeah.
they did that in that match yesterday, and
No.
I was just like, thank you. I seriously, dude, I just sat there and enjoyed the shit out of it. It's been a long time since I've enjoyed a match like that. So I was like, okay, Big D's got something here. Like I see why NXT
Yeah.
is, although I'm kind of like AEW now. Oh shit, got to check that out too.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to watch this last week's episode
I
and
try
just
to
see what's
see.
because lately I've been trying to watch AEW, but I can't get past the first half.
There's a lot of high flying, man. There's a
I
lot
just
of
end up.
like I don't even know what to call it. Like a
Yeah.
new style. It's not really like maybe a lucha style, but that was another thing that kind of upset me a little bit. Once again, I'm concentrating on the bad, so I'm just gonna throw it out there, which was with the lucha guys. The guy with the golden jacket that came out. What was his name? It was three lucha guys, and they were talking about not being respected as lucha. And I thought that lucha style was wearing masks. Yeah, on
On
NXT.
NXT.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but he's the one that won the cruiserweight
yeah.
tournament. That the one that Drake Maverick was in. So he was during that he was in Lucha. Um, he had the mask on and everything, and then I was after the tournament. He took his
Well,
mask
well, they're
off.
they're they're like
And
a video of all three guys. They all wore masks, and all three of
okay,
them
okay,
took the
yes,
masks off. And I'm like, that is like the most. From my understanding, that is the most disrespectful thing you could do as a lucha.
right, and it is, and then that's where I think that's just like,
Just like,
well, this guy's never going to be a face. Um, like he's just going to be a heel. Like he's just going to like that's just like I think you kind of give him
but he
that
was
power.
demanding
But
respect,
then
man. He
again,
was demanding. I mean, he was definitely a heel. He was demanding
yeah,
respect
yeah,
as a lucha, and I'm like, wait a minute,
yeah.
like you're an asshole. So I guess it worked. I guess it
It's
worked.
like a perfect like Vince McMahon
Yeah.
lucha right there because Vince McMahon just doesn't he doesn't care for
Dude, masks are
masks.
great. Look at Kane.
Um,
Like even Kane was taken
I
out of
mean,
a mask. Like it's like come
right,
on,
right,
Kane's
yeah.
mask was awesome.
Nope.
Although I like his like the
So
new
it's like
mask.
it's like if you're a lucha style wrestler and you want to make it in the WWE, just you might have to just take your mask
And
off
lose
and
an eye.
yeah, right. Because I mean, Ricochet, he used to have a mask, not while he was in WWE, but prior to WWE. Um, this new guy now, I can't. I'm not
I'm
familiar
not
with his
either, man.
name.
This is the first time I saw him
But
because I haven't really been watching NXT
yeah,
until
because like that was a kind of cool little story. It was a couple months. Um, these guys were losing matches, and I think within the tournament, and then they would be getting kidnapped and then thrown into a van, which they ended up nicknaming the Lucha Van Party. But yeah, no, NXT is just. I mean, I can't wait to see. Um, Karrion
Keith Lee.
Cross against
Yeah,
Keith
it's
Lee.
like he almost seems like a
I
white
love
supremacist versus a black dude.
right, yeah, yeah. I love the video, the little promo that Karrion Cross had of ever since he's come when Regal hasn't been around, and Regal, he wants a title shot, and then he just he's like this is like proving to get his title shot, whatever. But just like it just pulls away. You just see all these bodies just on the gym floor, and uh, yeah, I like it. I like Karrion Cross. I didn't know much about him prior to NXT, but I did some. I watched some of his matches, and I really like that. Um, Keith Lee,
Grimes.
he should be able to beat him. Keith Lee, I think, should be able to beat Karrion Cross. Well, but then again, I don't know because they're like really beefing up Karrion Cross a lot. Um,
So where's
so I don't
Carrion?
know.
Where did he come from?
Not too. I believe he was down in Ring of Honor. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, he does it. He has a big following. Um, and it was a big thing. It was a big deal that he got
So
signed by
yeah, he was
WBE.
Impact,
Now it's just a
Lucha Libre, Worldwide, AAA, Major League Wrestling. Um, oh, he was Lucha Underground too. Is the White Rabbit.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about him. Um, okay, so I guess he wasn't in Ring of Honor.
That's pretty cool. I just got to give a shout out. I know we're talking about NXT. I just got to give a shout out to Akira Tozawa for winning the 24-hour, 24/7 championship. That was pretty crazy. Yeah?
I missed that. I missed that. I
Well,
did.
he did it, man. But anyway, let's get back to NXT. Because I kind of like,
Good.
I'm missing our truth. Like, I didn't realize like,
Right.
I mean, we talked about, like,
Yeah.
he's a great character and he could do comedy, but man, I wish they did a little more with him. But back to Karrion Cross and Keith
Yeah.
Lee, man. So Keith Lee gave up one of his championships, right? And that's what they're doing the tournament
Yeah.
for.
Yes. And I can't. Oh, it's still gonna be that's probably gonna be the match of the night. It should be. Well, it's not gonna be main event, obviously. So I mean that's gonna be Keith Lee and Karrion Cross, but this ladder match. I don't know if it is going to be a ladder match. I think it is a 5 minute ladder match. It may be one of the matches of the year as far as who's involved in it right now.
But wait,
Um, Dexter Loomis, how unfortunately we found out this week is not going to be in the match due to an ankle injury, which he caused he, whatever got hurt last week.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
which I mean, I don't know if it's just if it's just a story or if it's real or not. But um, no, I just really like Dexter Lumis. I really like him. But um,
we've talked about him, and once again, he's sincere, and he's definitely, he's a character, man. Like I believe him. Does that make sense? Like when he just
mhm.
sits there and he just stares
Oh
at you
yeah,
in that crazy way, and it's believable to me. So that to me is a huge step towards having a good character. Like I believe it. Like he just sits there. He's like red. He's literally just red,
right, yeah,
and he just looks at you like he's like I don't know, like he's gonna do something to you that you yeah are gonna not enjoy at all. um,
his hair, his
yeah, he
mustache
looks
is
like a
just
German soldier. Once
yeah,
again,
just
here
like
we are with this stuff.
yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's also a little like cray cray. No pun intended, or no, not meant to offend anyone. He's like this cartoon crazy almost. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm just like I would like to file a complaint to WWE. I think they're discriminating against certain wrestlers. Like I don't know what's happening, but why aren't WWE doctors going to like that injury for what's his name? Apollo Crews, his neck injury. They didn't fix that. Now we got this ankle
Right.
injury. They're not
Right.
fixing that.
Yeah. It's like I was like, and I'm trying to think of a way, like if it is part of
Maybe it's a
this, like
real
if it's
ankle
just
injury. Maybe that's it.
it might, it very well may be. Um, but I mean, that's still a long ways away. Um,
The triple threat match,
but
the ladder.
yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
22nd is NXT 30, which I can't believe it's already 30 takeovers NXT has
30.
had. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, 30
Holy.
pay-per-views they've had, pretty
When did
much.
NXT start, man? Shit. Like how many a
2000
year? I
and
guess how many takeovers a year do they have?
not that many, 4 or 5
Okay,
maybe.
all right.
Um, yeah, it's kind of because like they almost do. Um, WWE has like two pay-per-views to NXT's one, um, which is good. Like you can really build up those storylines, um, which is something like I mean like old school WWE. You know, they had the four major pay-per-views. They could actually build them up, and they can make that money that they needed to in just four pay-per-views a year. Um, let's see, one,
Yeah, I guess that's cool. Like
two,
when you don't have as many, you want to see more of them. I guess it's like it's one of those. You know,
right,
absence makes
right.
the heart grow fonder. Uh, yeah. Anyway, I wanna talk about Damian Priest too. I have the whole card pulled up. Um, I saw.
Mm-hmm,
So I haven't been watching NXT. Like every once in a while, I'll tune in, like, and I'll just watch like certain matches. I remember because
mm-hmm.
you're really enjoying NXT, so I tuned in to watch it. But I remember seeing other matches with Damian Priest, and I kind of like his like to me he's like 95% there. Like there's something that's missing, but it's not much. He's a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
I like his whole, bow and arrow shtick and lighting the screen on fire. And, when he shows up, he's got the spotlight on one side and then he moves. Like, I could just imagine him in the dark, like running from this spot to this spot to this spot. I'm like, those entrances, that's going to get hard, man. You're going to have to remember all these spots where I guess they're all the same spots, right?
Right,
But
right.
what would be funny is if he misses a spot and he runs to the wrong spot and they turn the spotlight on and it's like nothing, and then all of a sudden they turn the spotlight on and he ran to the wrong spot again. That could potentially be funny. I'm gonna watch just in case, just to see that happen. I guess they're pre-recorded though. I can't really like live. It would be funny. Um, he is close, man. Once again, there's some kicks and stuff that they do, but overall, I enjoy that match
Right.
too. Was
Yeah, no, that was a really good match. Considering um, the third guy, well, because you had
Yeah,
Oni Lorcan and
and
Damien
Rich.
Priest, and then Ridge Holland, which this was his debut on NXT. Um, as far
Yeah,
as US, he's been in NXT UK, and I don't really watch NXT UK. I do want to start watching it more often because they do put on a pretty good show as well. As far as the matches, the UK fighting is um, a lot different. Um, but yeah, I mean, really good match, really good match. I mean, I was rooting for Damian Priest. Um, I wouldn't I wouldn't mind if maybe um, something that happened and only Lorcan won because only Lorcan. I picture him in a ladder match. I just think that'd be
So Lorcan was
uh,
the like the angry. Um,
little
yeah,
the
yeah.
skinny
He
guy
seemed
there.
very angry.
Yeah, yeah. He's not. Well, he's a big face right now, but he's just very determined and very in it.
Yeah, that guy. Like I
Um,
can't see him as a heel. I just can't. Like he's got that face where I don't think he'd be believable as a heel. Like
right. It's almost like a
the
Gilbert
Gilbert.
face.
Oh yes, it's
Um,
true. It's that anger, that Gilbert anger. The overflowing hamster wheel. Just you're like, oh wow, oh wow. Rich Holland was cool too, man. I like Rich Holland. He was
yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
powerful
nice
dude, man.
powerhouse. Yeah, yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
dude, there's a lot of
So
potential in NXT. Like, I'm watching these dudes, and I'm like, well, one thing that everybody. So I was watching this with my girlfriend, and she's like, everybody looks the same, and I was like, what do you mean? It's like everybody keeps wearing the same little trunks, and so Damian Priest at least had like pants on, all right, and he had tattoos. He looked different, so that's why he stood out, even if he
right,
didn't do anything else. I dig Damian Priest, man. So, but
yeah, no, and he's come a long way, and he's almost the entire time that he's been around. He's like almost been there. And then he's had some really good feuds, but once it got down to the like the end of the feuds where you need that big climax, it seemed like his matches kind of flatlined, and he had to like kind of come back up from the climax instead of like riding it.
ride the wave.
So yeah, I think I mean he might be my favorite to win this tournament. Um, the other guy that's in it right now is Bronson Reed, which I really enjoy watching Bronson Reed. Um, big guy out of New Zealand, I believe. Um, he's another one that can. He's not quite as finesse with his spood with his speed and moves as Keith Lee. Well, I mean, he can still get up on that top rope and do a moonsault and stuff like
What's his
that. But
name? Reed.
Bronson Reed, yep, yep,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
he
the one who got he got into Damian Priest's face, right? They're gonna go one on one. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's him.
yep,
That's him. See, I'm getting this. I'm getting this. I'm picking it up.
yep. But like, well, that's another thing too that's hard for me because like I'm never even when like TV shows or movies, like I'm horrible with names unless unless they're around for a long time. So I'm always going back and just like refreshing my like the names up in NXT because there's so much talent down there that's on every single week, and it might be a week or two before you see them again. So it's not like a you know seared in your brain. But yeah, uh, I really he's another since he came out and debut since his debut. I was like, all right, this guy's got there's something special about this guy. Um, a lot of these guys, you don't necessarily see them winning the NXT championship, but um, you can definitely see them doing something.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah. So and then they came out with the um, whoever the guys that did not lose in either of the triple threat matches. They're gonna have another little mini tournament to determine the final three uh, guys that are going to join this ladder match.
So is this going to be six people? Five people.
Five.
Wow.
Five.
Well,
Yep.
see, Bronson Reed looks like Rock's character in Moana. Uh, Maui. He
Right.
looks like
Yes.
Maui.
um, yeah. So I'm excited for the match. Darts Luminous not being in it is a little disappointing, but you're gonna probably get Finn Balor. We'll probably get Johnny Gargano, and I'm not sure who the other guys are going to be.
Yeah, Johnny Gargano's kind of, yeah. I'm not a too, like, I don't know. He's annoying. I guess that works.
I I just he's just been around for so long that I'm just like, I can do with or without him. Um, I think he needs something to really hype up his new character. He just kind of changed his character recently, but that's where like him and Keith Lee were feuding. But he needs something to he needs a feud to keep him
Yeah, Keith Lee
going.
would beat the crap out of
Um,
him. Ah,
and he did. He
in your
did.
house, right?
There was a Rhea Ripley sighting this week. Um, number one contender match for the women's title. She's obviously not going to be the number one contenders as Dakota Kai won. I'm okay with that. I like Dakota Kai. I don't think Io Shirai is going to lose her title, but that should be a good match. Um, yeah, and then you got Mercedes Martinez who came in and interfered and just nailed Rhea Ripley that big boot. Um, and now Rhea Ripley kind of continues her feud uh, with the what's his name, the Mark Stone, I think, agency. Um, so I don't know what they're doing with Rhea Ripley. Um,
Hey,
I don't know too much. Martinez, she is hyped, so I'm guessing she's good in the ring. She's kind of been just fighting jobbers.
yeah,
Um,
Dakota Kai beat Rhea Ripley.
yep,
So,
yep, and I'm okay with that. Dakota Kai, she's come a long way as well. Seeing a lot of these women. There was a point, especially after Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bailey, Becky Lynch, that just powerhouse of talent. When that went away, so did the women's division, kind of like because they were so invested in them that everyone behind was kind of forgotten a little bit. They weren't really pushed. So it took a little while because it was like weird. They had like weird champions. Like there's a reason why Asuka, came in. She pretty much immediately became champion, pretty much, and then she had it for well over a year. Like there's a reason that she had that belt for so long. Um, and now it's just like there's just so much good talent. Um, but you're seeing people like Dakota Kai, who's been around for a long time. There's some people that now they're finally starting to bloom, but they've been there down in NXT for 5 years, um, and they're finally getting putting the puzzle pieces together and
yeah,
getting that
I
opportunity.
missed the Dakota Kai Rhea Ripley match.
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, it was solid. It was solid. But then just like it's just, I mean, you can't really have Rhea Ripley right now go against Io Shirai because face versus face matches really don't do justice. Um, so seeing that, I mean, I kind of felt like, Dakota Kai, not only does she deserve it, I feel, because what has Rhea Ripley done lately? Um, Not much since her Flair match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which was a great
Uh,
match. Like, do you
right.
think Flair is the one who carried that, or
I mean, no, I mean, I think,
because I like Rhea
I don't,
Ripley did great. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand
I mean,
why she plunged.
yeah, I mean, that's WWE's fault, really. I
Is
mean,
is this really like once again like I remember her having an issue with like they were talking something about her visa being a problem, and she was gone there for after WrestleMania. No,
yeah. She disappeared for a while.
yeah, and so like I wonder if it's like anytime you leave, you got to work your way from like the bottom. You got to work your
Right.
way up, and it's I understand it on one hand. On the other hand, it's kind of like you just built these people up. You spent so much time building them up. Like Rhea Ripley was on her way. She was on her way,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like and she has the look. I don't like her trying to like be tough. Like she makes faces. Those faces bother me. But outside of that, she's a like I think she's a kind of like the bright spot on that women's
Mm-hmm.
roster. So
Yeah,
although I did
yeah.
miss
But
the
like, if she's gone, if you're gone for a week or two, even like, even say 3 weeks, it's just like that's a lot of time,
dude is Roman.
especially how fast things
I'm
go.
about to talk about your favorite boy.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Do you think Roman's gonna like he's gonna start like if when we go back to normal, do you think he's gonna be losing to everybody when he comes back? Or do you think
No,
he's built up they built up too much? He's kind of like
he'll
Randy
be
Orton. You can.
he'll come in, go right back to the top, or at least close to the top. Um, yeah.
Sorry, I digress there. For those who don't know, Big D, yeah, like his most favorite wrestler, um, he's got a mountain of his own. Is Roman Reigns. So
Yeah, more like a valley, more like a
more
valley,
like a shack.
a disc. Yeah, it's just
It's like that
uh,
Undertaker's whatever that shack he has. That's about how much Roman Reigns, how big of a fan you are for Roman Reigns.
well, it's a couple of steps lower than the love shack.
Yeah, he's not even
Uh,
in the swamp. That's how much you like him.
yeah, I was just kind of doing a little re up here on Rhea Ripley, and it's just she had her opportunity at the title, and then she just lost it, and she's just pretty much just working her way back up. Just how fast things come. She didn't have any. There's nothing saying about any issues um, with anything.
Well, here's one thing,
So
man. I read that
she was there.
when we first started this podcast, I was reading about like all the stories and rumors and just trying to get as much information as I could from for everybody. But I am trying desperately to not pay attention to any of that and just watch the wrestling for wrestling at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I'm at this. Like I'm like I just don't like if there's something I
It-
heard, I'll say it. But
right.
other than that, like,
Well, I mean,
do you know what I
it's
mean?
it's kind of like when you kind of notice that okay, so and so hasn't been around a while.
Yeah,
It's like I'm gonna go look and see, if something happened. Like, is there a real injury? Like, is there,
that is true. That is
you know,
true.
are there problems? Because I mean, the thing with Rhea Ripley was is like through this whole epidemic. No, she was there. She's here. Um, and it's just for whatever reason, they just kind of moved on. I think when she lost that title, I was okay, there's too many. It's almost like there's too many chefs in the kitchen kind of thing. There's too many people, there's too many women at the top that you know deserve the title.
You would know, man.
And if they don't get there, like if they don't get that opportunity, then it's like they're just gonna get buried. So it was like next in line was Io Shirai, and boom, she got it. But I mean, Rhea Ripley. I mean, I mean, the feud that she's been in, it's building up to this feud that's coming up right now. So it should still be decent matches. It could still help her out, and then she'll get back and have her title shots eventually. Will it be against Io Shirai? Uh, who knows by that time? But I don't think there's any reason to really rush too many things because they have such good product, and from going from one week to the next, yeah, you have your stone feuds that are going to be on there every week, but then you have a lot of fillers that you can fill in every other week with a feud and still be still have that buzz and have that content to uh, keep their characters strong. So I think that's what's going to happen to Rhea Ripley. And I'm okay with it. I don't think she needs to be in the title picture right now. There's no reason to be. I think Dakota Kai is more than deserving to have that title shot. She won't win, but you never know.
Yeah, you have those superstars who need the title, like who get legitimized
Right.
by the title. I think Rhea Ripley's got the look, like she's definitely unique.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely has a unique look, so she does stand out.
Right.
So I didn't like her screaming particularly during WrestleMania, but then again, that was just so new. Like they didn't know to put a couple of people in the crowd, um, nor could they, I guess. Um, but no, dude, she is like I like her. I like her. I think she's gonna. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You gotta bring up the other people too. So
Right. Well, that's the thing, though. A lot of these people, they don't want to get called up. Like they really like being in NXT, and it's the way. And I just came across this article. It was posted 6 hours ago of a possible Rhea Ripley call up, but she wants to stay in NXT for a long time. Um, Same said for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Like these guys are just like NXT fixtures. Like they're not in any rush to move ahead because I feel like it's almost a loss for them if they were to get called up and on SmackDown and Raw and then get. It's almost like they're afraid to get buried.
well, they get changed around too. They get like things about them changed.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you know. I mean, just from watching NXT this week, how much of a difference it is between NXT and like it's just so separate from Raw and SmackDown and NXT, just the way everything is done. Um,
It's not. I wouldn't say it was more serious, but it is definitely a little more legit. If that if you could even describe that,
yeah, it's a better product
it,
of what you're
it is definitely
of
more
wrestling.
entertaining.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, you actually have that. You actually have that entertainment, and then you have that wrestling. I mean, it's kind of balanced out really well. Um, they definitely back up what they're putting. I mean, yeah, and the commentary is great. Um,
what's that? Michael Cole's protege. Pat McAfee was on there. That was interesting.
yeah, yeah, he does the pre shows, but now he has his own talk
Yeah.
show on Fox Sports or whatever, and
Uh,
Adam Cole was on there, and then they got into this feud. They got into this little argument, and this is the one match that I'm not really caring for because it's just making it's just putting it's making Adam Cole a bit smaller, putting him in a feud against McAfee. Um,
uh,
well, and we'll see at the very end. I mean, I wasn't expecting um, freaking a kick to the head, and uh, so right away that it made it better for me. So I'm like, okay,
well, the way Adam Cole landed, like face forward from the table,
yeah,
that dude,
yeah,
that looked
yeah,
like oh shit, like.
yeah. And then Triple H is chasing them and pushing them like that. That looked like some real pushes. So it's just like, okay, like
But you're
but,
right. It's like trying to put him in with the punter. It's just,
right,
oh,
right.
but Adam Cole is small as is, man. So what's he gonna do?
He is, and I don't, you don't see, you don't really notice how small he
He's
is.
just angry.
I mean, I guess you do, but man, he's a really good wrestler. I really like him.
He looks like
I
an
mean,
angry piranha to me, like just a little tiny fish, just angry.
it's just you call him a little angry. What do you call him? Elf, an angry elf.
Angry elf.
And I just,
Yes.
I just, I just, I just loved it that they had that whole thing where they're warning him. They're like, he's less than 20 feet away. He can hear what you're saying. Um, and then yeah, it pissed off. Um, what's her name? The other commentator.
Oh, I'm
Um,
watching it right now, guys. He just literally punted him off the table. And Triple H really, I mean, pushed the shit out of him.
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. So I mean, it's okay. So it made
I mean, the other
it might
commentator,
be a
Michael
decent.
Cole Jr., is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, the female.
Oh.
The Glamazon. What's her name? Beth Phoenix.
Oh, she
Um,
was the
she's a
commentator?
yeah. Her and
Oh,
Mauro
shit.
Ronaldo is a great commentator. I don't know if you ever heard of him much, but he was a big time UFC commentator. So he's one of those guys that needs to be on Raw and SmackDown if they want to go that direction. But he's great on NXT right now because it is like that more technical area. Like he knows the moves of the name or the names of the moves. He has a lot of puns, like pun comments. He like has his humor and stuff. He just has that voice that really traps you in and just listening to the match.
I'm
But
hearing you.
yeah, she does really well as well, and but she's got like the wrestling or the wrestlers. Um, like she's got like the back of the wrestlers, like she backs them up, and the way that McAfee was, talking about, Adam Cole behind his back or just whatever, she didn't like it, and so she left. And then that kind of gives McAfee like that. All right, this guy's a douchebag kind of feel.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say, like you're talking about puns. I'm like, is this like no pun intended?
yeah, and then the fact that Adam Cole could actually, he came over and he was like, I'm less than 20 feet away. I can hear everything you're saying. And, it's just, okay. So, like, this guy's getting underneath the skin. So now this is kind of turning a little face on Adam Cole here. He's going to be the face of this match, which he really hasn't been a face
I
the
like
whole
that. I
time.
like that shit talking though. Call him
Yeah,
angry elf. Like
yeah,
that's like
yeah. Uh,
that would be something I would like The Rock would do. Like
right. Right.
which I
Um,
enjoyed that. I think it's pretty cool. I totally forgot
I
about that
just hope
until you
this,
said it. The
I
angry
just
elf.
hope this doesn't lead. I hope this doesn't lead to a undisputed era breakup, because it did cost them the match, with the distraction and all that. So
Well, I don't know that much about the Undisputed Era, but I'm watching. I'm paying attention, and I do have the network, so I can watch this stuff a lot better than.
yeah, they put on a lot of good matches. I guess one thing, if they were to get split up now, you got, they can kind of bring them up separately or whatever. But I'd rather them be stay a faction of four. Um, originally they were only the three, um, and then they added a fourth member due to injury. Um, but I really enjoy them. I don't want them to get broken up. Um, I really thought they would have been up on the main rosters by now, but that's another group they don't want to. Adam Cole doesn't want to. He'd rather stay in NXT. Um,
Yeah, I mean, what's he gonna do? Like at the main roster, he's gonna get jobbed out like nobody's business.
right, right.
No
I mean,
offense. Like I'm talking like I know what I'm.
he came up last year, and he had a match, a Survivor Series, um, title match, NXT title match against Daniel Bryan. Um, that was a great match. But it's just like, yeah, you don't like, you're like, I fear them calling up people now. It's like, just like with Matt Riddle. Um,
Yeah,
it's just like already you're sensing that decline. It's just like, oh, I don't know.
well, it was different. Yeah, we talked about it in our last podcast. Like it was just different. Like I watched
Yeah,
some of Matt Riddle on NXT, and
right,
like he seemed to be more free down there. Like on Raw, he was or SmackDown, he was he was kind of like nervous, like and being
right,
more polite.
right.
I don't.
Yeah, it's like he's like he's too much of like, it's kind of like that, that attracts people like Baron Corbin to, you know go after these guys. But it's just like, you don't bring this guy in and immediately put him in title matches against AJ Styles and then just forget about him.
I mean that match against AJ Styles, it was like, all right, dude, they're really putting him in the thick of things.
Yeah,
They gave him legitimacy immediately, but then it was like, who else does he fight?
right. And that's where, I mean, right now I guess there isn't anybody that's gonna fight AJ Styles right now yet at SummerSlam. So hope maybe something happens, um, or Riddle can get back involved. Um, I was reading that this push for the Grand Metal League was actually to please the beat writers, and like social media, like wrestling writers. So Dave Meltzer, um, loves Grand Metal League.
Yeah, what does
Um,
anybody want to impress Dave Meltzer out of all people in this world? Like, what does anybody want to impress him? Like, who gives a shit?
because it's that power on social media. Um,
There's nothing special about Dave Meltzer, and I like he hasn't wrestled a day in his life. I don't know if he
I mean,
has, but I
I
I
don't
think
care,
I've
but
wrestled more than
apparently,
Dave Meltzer.
apparently Bruce Pritchard just wanted to please them, and then it's pretty much they had Grand Metal League lose to pretty much like Vince McMahon, just like,
Is this about the
okay,
fans or is it about freaking?
you're wrong.
Sorry.
You're wrong. He is not the best out there, and so we're gonna make him lose. Way to go, Dave Meltzer. Now Grand Metal League is gonna get buried.
Oh my God.
So, no, but no. I mean, so it's now, as of right now, AJ Styles doesn't have an opponent, um, and there's no feud. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Um,
I just so we're clear, I do not get Dave Meltzer. Like what?
Yeah, no, I never have either really, and I don't have much of an opinion on him. I mean, I hear his name every week, but never have I like
Yeah, it's like he he
gone.
he he grades matches, like we we
Yeah,
we grade matches, we're having fun. Like he grades matches like it's a serious thing, dude. It's a business. But I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about him. But what the hell? uh, uh,
yeah.
uh,
Like I don't even know. I just now saw what he looks like.
the the Wrestling Observer. Like I've heard about that, but I don't understand Meltzer. Like I don't understand what the big deal is. Is like he is not wrestling. He writes about wrestling, but he's not wrestling.
Right.
And
But,
yeah, like the fans, like we're listening to the fans, but what fans are you listening to? you know, like social media
right.
fans. There's a lot of fans who are not on social media. Although I look at WWE and they got like 55 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
that
It's a huge, huge community.
yeah.
I mean, there's just
I wonder what their ratings are when Stone Cold shows up. Like he showed up on the March 16th, like 316, if you remember that.
right, right.
Like
Um,
I tuned in to watch that. I was like, hey, I gotta see this. I gotta see what he blew himself just
I'm,
he blew himself
I'm sure,
he blew himself out
I'm sure it
up.
booms, especially when people know that it's, happening.
Oh yeah. Well, it'd be nice to hear from The Rock right about now.
Let's see.
He comes back home. But Rock, like, do you think Rock could even work? I'm sure he could. Never mind. What am I saying?
From March 9th, I went from a 2.16 and then 316. It was up to 2.33.
No.
So about 170,000 difference, and then it dropped over 300,000.
Wow.
And then yeah, that was the decline. Wow, that was the last time it was that high, 2.3, and then it went 2, 1.9, 2.1, and it hasn't been above
Too.
ever since.
So Stone Cold's got as much pull as Eric Bischoff. Is that what you're telling me? Is like, is this what I'm getting?
And I mean the biggest rating so far this year was 2.4, and that was January 27th. So that
Oh,
was right before
live
Royal Rumble.
audience. Oh yeah. So Edge came back to
Yep.
this during this Royal Rumble. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That was
Yep.
crazy, man, because I wasn't, listening or reading anything that he was gonna come back. And then I just see a
Yeah.
clip, Edge comes back and it says 2020, and I'm like, what? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
Just boom, out of
it was like
nowhere.
a legitimate surprise. Like there's I mean, there may have been rumors. I don't remember. Really. But yeah, I wasn't. I was surprised.
That was pretty
And
cool.
all of a sudden, on this day, oh, man, that's
We should use punishments to just sing a theme song. Shit.
yeah, we could.
You could do the Shawn Michaels song.
Oh, but then again, are these really punishments?
No.
Are these really punishments? Because I mean, I would have a
Is
blast.
karaoke a punishment really if you like to sing?
No,
I think
no.
it's a
Like I do listen to the just WWE just wrestling entrance music
I do
on
too.
Pandora and stuff.
I do too. I'm
Um,
moving you over so you don't have to scoot over. You're gonna notice yourself shift.
there we go. Okay. Yeah, I just realized it's weird. Like my from where I'm recording, it's completely different than my location on YouTube.
But yeah, Yeah, because we have split screens. Otherwise, like, so see on your top left corner, you got a little bit of the Skype thing. So I'm gonna move that. There we go. You don't see it anymore. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh, singing theme songs.
Theme
You know
songs.
that attitude. Oh, what was that? It was a CD. It was a they put out a CD, attitude something.
Aggression.
Yes, yes. I
With
had I
the aggression.
I had all their CDs, man.
Yeah, I mean they still. I think they still come out. I don't know though. But I remember. I mean that one. That was. I mean that was iconic for those CDs as far as uh, DX, Mick Foley, Stone Cold, The Rock, Hardy's,
Kane.
uh,
Well,
Kane, Taker.
and then they
Uh,
had those where they had covers by other bands. Like, 'cause Stone Cold had the one, 'cause he changed it for a while there by Oh Hell Yeah.
oh, okay.
No, did he use that song at all? I don't know if he used that song.
I'm not sure.
Um,
I'm not sure. That might be. I have to talk about.
I think it was like Age Block X. Oh Hell Yeah, that was a great song. I used
Oh,
that as my one of my entrances when I did backyard wrestling.
oh, nice.
Yeah, oh
Uh,
hell yeah, it was nice.
yeah, like there was just like they just had actual titles of the songs. Like it was just like,
Yeah, so for
but,
me, karaoke, like, it's not necessarily a punishment as much as it is like, if the person can't sing, then it's hilarious.
right. Well, I mean, I guess it really depends on the song. I mean, because there aren't too many that actually have uh, core like actual lyrics or choruses or whatever.
Oh, you know
Oh
you
yeah,
want to bust out a real American.
I I would love
You
to.
get that air
I would,
guitar, it's Big D.
probably only been a couple months since I sang that. Oh man, that's another so iconic.
Oh God, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, get around to the 95. But yeah, so
But you know the
kind of
countdown from Chris Jericho? You know
yes.
you want to put your arms out.
Mhm.
You want to get into that stance. You get that countdown,
Everybody.
you're like, "Oh damn, why are my arms getting up? What's happening right now?"
Uh,
So, yeah, what else is there to talk about, man? Um,
oh, we kind of just like we just went Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, and then on Round Seven,
fuck everything else.
then we just went right to NXT.
Yep.
Um, those
Sasha Banks and Bailey, there's a little rift. It's starting a little bit,
yeah, a little bit.
a little bit.
Uh, Nikki Cross, and before Alexa got uh, mandible clawed, Nikki Cross lost, and she wasn't happy, and a little shoving match with Alexa Bliss. Um,
But like, how do you go back after their match the previous week? Like, how do you go back to like friendship? She's gonna be in your
right.
corner. Like, that's not gonna work,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it didn't.
So now it's gonna be interesting, what's gonna happen when Alexa comes back. Um, you know, so I kind of hoping that she like
She comes
they
back with
continue that.
Strowman.
Yeah. No. No, I don't think so.
Maybe she like see, yeah. What do you think about the title? What do you think about the whole like that's what Bray Wyatt wants. He wants what's like he wants
I
the
still I
title.
still think that
That's just because of
the
SummerSlam.
I don't. I mean, I don't know because
I guess we did cover this, but
maybe it is right now. Like maybe it wasn't something that he wanted before, perhaps because that's because when Roman Reigns was still there, and Roman Reigns was, if we're gonna go off script, is and it was always supposed to go on Roman Reigns' shoulders. He was supposed to be champion by now. Um, but now that he's not around, you know, why? I mean, just why not? I mean, it's really tough to say because who else is gonna be in that on that level? Um, so I mean, and like,
That's a good
it's
that's a
like
good
prime.
question. It's
It's
a
like
good
it's
point.
it's like prime time for Fiend and Bray Wyatt right now to have that title, still be the most, um, selling revenue, the most the most watched guy on TV for wrestling right now.
Well, I'd
So
watch
why not
SmackDown
have
more, so yeah, you're right.
why not give him all that power? Have him have everything in his hands. Um, you know,
Yeah, what's Strowman gonna
since
do?
Strowman's had, I mean, yeah, since he's had the title, it's just been Bray Wyatt, and this is now months and months of build up. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know when his last match was. Um, I think it was that night when Jeff Hardy got lifted up. Um, I think it was like a triple threat match or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like who's there to um, take on these champions right now, and it's like it almost makes sense. Like,
Well,
okay,
Sheamus would be one, but he got devalued. He got thrown down too.
right, right,
Jeff
right. So it's
Hardy,
like right now,
but
the way things are going, it's just like
eh,
in one hand you got, so why, like, this is an opportune time to bring these Raw and SmackDown together somehow a little bit to help these ratings out as well, and have that. I mean, Clash of Champions is before Survivor Series, so maybe you're going to have Clash of the Champions and have that be the Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton um, feud. Just because it's just perfect timing right now. Um, if you're not like this opportunity of a way for Bray Wyatt to move on to the next person that next in his storylines. It just works out perfectly with also across the street on Raw. Randy Orton is in the title picture as well. So I just personally think that that's needed to happen.
yeah, I mean you're right as far as ratings. A little bit more of the Fiend would do the trick.
Right. And you don't necessarily even need,
Yeah,
just have Funhouse, because it's not like that's just on the screen. Like, it's not like they're actually there. But if you had a Firefly Funhouse just pop up in the middle of a Randy Orton promo and just be like,
that would
I
be a
mean,
good start.
that would that would just blow off the roof if there were people there. But I mean, I get goosebumps just thinking about that. Um, because there's just nothing. Everything else is just weird right now. I mean, on Raw, you got the tag teams, and like now there's people poisoning each other. Um, and apparently Montez Ford is poisoned.
I mean he acted that very well.
He did, but I don't get it. I don't know where it's going to lead to.
That dude can act. That dude can like
Yeah,
he's got
yeah,
character. That
I love it. I love it. I just don't know where they're going. I don't know if it's a way to get um what's her name, his wife, uh more involved with Zelina.
Oh, the
Um,
girl with the super long hair.
yeah, EST. I can't think of a name, but anyway,
Well, we're gonna find out
no,
here.
it's just weird. Just everything else is weird. Um, Nothing memorable, really. I mean, there's just a lot of just weird things going on.
It's a, it's not Bianca Belair, no?
Yes, yes, Bianca
That's
Belair.
her. Yes, yes.
She's the EST of WWE. Um, she's a hell of a wrestler too.
Who poisoned
Uh,
Montez Ford?
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
This is like all
it's
who ran over Stone Cold, you know?
right,
Remember
right.
that?
Or yeah,
I did it for The
still you know,
Rock.
did it. Oh man, yeah. It's just it's all over the place. Everything else is just so discombobulated, and now they have Raw Underground. I don't know where this is going.
Yes, I
I,
guess we could get to Raw Underground. God,
I don't want it.
what
I don't.
what
And
happened?
like right away at the end of it, you got MVP Shelton Benjamin and
They
uh,
take over the
Bob
show, huh?
Lashley get over Underground. Like for what? Like is I don't know. So it's like is this? I don't
Well,
know.
this was like this
I
is
just
supposed to be like shoot fighting, but it's not. And
right
so it even appears even more fake. Like literal like I mean no, these guys are they're slamming each other, like they remove the ropes. It's kind of like UFC-ish. Um but it's they're getting more and more serious, it seems like.
right right. So I mean, I guess we'll see where it goes, what they do with it.
But
Um,
they had that one big guy that was annihilating everybody. He's supposed to be like 7 foot tall, a 350 pound dude.
right.
His name is, I think his name was like Butt something.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like 'cause I heard about it before I saw it, so I was already off to a bad start about it. And then I saw it, and I'm just like, why? I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with it. Um, Raw and SmackDown, it's very boring. I mean, you had the Seth Rollins. I don't even remember what happened with Seth Rollins. You know, but Dominic came out. I know that.
Yeah, do you think they, pardon my expression, but they blew their wad too soon with Dominic?
Mm, yeah, but I think they kind of they forced it. They forced it to happen. Um, because Ray's out.
But that's
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
else,
he's a one-eyed man now.
Carrillo. Whatever happened to him. He's out. So there's just no way. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna have Seth Rollins out there. Like that's where I was kind of hoping. You know, maybe that's where they're gonna have the turn on Murphy and Seth.
Well, they're certainly hinting
Um,
to it. So,
well, they were a couple of weeks ago, and I think they should have acted upon that. But then they did the whole Murphy taking out Aleister Black's eyes, so it's like okay, so he's doing what he needs to do to stay in that, uh, as a whatever. Um, but I don't know. They forced that hand of Dominic, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be good.
you're not looking forward to it?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It like I mean, I think part of it, less people are watching wrestling just in general, but yeah. We've been talking more and more about this, the same thing every week. I don't
Hmm.
get it. Like there's some things I just don't understand, and it's not that fun at all. It's like I did listen to Eric Bischoff talk about so I don't know if this is true. So this is just literally from what I heard Eric Bischoff talk about, but I think they were talking about WWE's like declining ratings and if the product is getting weird and stuff like that. Um, but basically, he said that when you looked at it, 60% of WWE's of Raw and SmackDown, or so no, sorry, 60% of the income that WWE is making, the WWE is making per year comes from advertisers, from sponsors,
Right.
and apparently, they just have a lot more say. Like they have to navigate these like weird waters of censorship, where they really have to censor themselves because they have so many advertisers that are like PG. They want certain crowds, kids, families, and so. But then you get Raw Underground, and that is definitely not a family show. If anything,
Right.
it's like more testosterone, more it's this kind of like I don't know. It's just it's everything. It's like mixed martial arts, mixed with wrestling. Um, are they calling this the reality era? Like literal reality era? What are we calling this era right now?
No, well, I mean, they already kind of had the
The reality.
reality era. I mean, I guess that's just kind of lingered on. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just confusing.
Like I watched some of that Raw Underground, and I was like, it looks underground, but I absolutely had no interest in it.
Right. Right.
And so I don't know, man. Like NXT was a
Uh,
pleasant surprise. So thank you for that.
mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try some AEW. I don't know. Like I don't know what to do with WWE right now. I'm not gonna quit on
Right.
WWE, but at
I
all.
mean, I'm
Uh, but
just
I'm
kind of like
watching like
looking
those. What do you call it? Sorry.
looking to see like the match card for SummerSlam as far as right now and what potentially, and it's pretty weak to me. Um, you got McIntyre versus
It'll probably
Orton.
be a good match, but
Um,
the feud is like whatever.
um, right, right, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, I want that story. I want that build up. The you know the match to be the cherry on top of the story. Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza. We're I don't know, that's taking a weird turn. You're only
But
a
look at
couple
Street
weeks away.
Profits. Like last time they were like that whole that ninja on motorcycle group that's now changing into something else. Um, that whole Viking Raiders thing was a disaster. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but they were cool though. I like them. I like Montez.
yeah. No, it's a great. Again, it's gonna be a great match. I just don't like the
Yeah,
story. It's all
yeah.
about
But
the
the
writing.
character itself,
All
like
about
Montez, for me is like he is like I would watch Raw just to see him do his crazy shit because this dude's nuts.
right,
But he's so excited about it.
right,
Like no matter what, he's excited, he's animated, he's jumping, he's doing all these crazy things, and you're like sincere. Like he's like Dexter Loomis in sincerity. Like
right.
you know what I'm saying. Like he's got this
Yeah.
sincerity in his eye.
And I guess like I
I
don't
buy
know,
it.
like just looking at that, like and looking at the matches, it's like they're not bad, man. It's just the stories and the writing for them makes it so weak. And I think that's why we're always like the last couple of pay-per-views, we've been pleasantly surprised because they've been really good matches, but it's just the storyline. Just it's just horrible writing, and it really, leading up to it. it really diminishes the value of your thoughts on what the pay per view is going to be like. Um, so, like, I mean, I continue like Apollo Crews versus MVP. MVP's been, you know, solid. Um, yeah, apparently he's looking to get a long term contract. Um, I'd be okay with it. I don't mind it.
Watching that match between the
You got
two was like MVP. He's a step slow, man. Did you notice that?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but I mean that's expected. I mean,
I,
the whole thing is, I think it's also he's also getting him back into it because he didn't come back to wrestle as much as he has been. Um, so I think things have kind of changed. So I mean, he might be just getting back into the flow of things and just really trying to amp up his conditioning and all that. So I'm not gonna
yeah,
fault
no,
him
you're absolutely
too
right.
much.
You're absolutely right.
He is older. Um, I mean,
Like, what? How old?
I'm not.
He's
I
like
mean,
35. You're like, shit. Shut up, man.
right, right. Um, but yeah.
No,
So I mean,
you're
he still
absolutely
puts on.
right. You're absolutely right. Like what? Like I just saw him jump in
Um,
a little too late. I'm like, oh, he's getting old. You're like, yeah, he is. You're like, all right, thanks, D. Thanks.
um, yeah, and then you got Rollins versus Dominic, which whatever. I don't know what's yeah. And then matches that haven't been confirmed yet. Well, I mean, and then you got Strowman versus the Fiend. Um, Sasha Banks versus Asuka. Most likely Matt Riddle versus King Corbin.
Well, at
Um,
least I'm gonna want to see King
so
Corbin's ass kicked.
it's like they're not bad matches. It's just the stories. I mean, step aside from the Fiend, where and that's all Bray Wyatt right there. He's doing his own writing for the most part, but all the other matches, except for I mean maybe Apollo Crews and MVP, that's had a solid story, even though it's not really like getting to anything big. Um, Sasha Banks and Asuka, I don't know. That's just yeah, I don't know. So I,
Well, if Sasha loses the
like
championship
I said,
there, now it's like, okay,
right,
I don't know.
right.
You're right. You're right.
But it's just like I say like it's not that great of a pay per view, but the matches are solid. It's just the storylines that there's no backbone, and with no backbone, you're not it's not standing up against anything. Um,
Yeah, these are so I guess like I'm trying to see like what you're talking about as far as the backbone of storylines and what I'm getting at, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it's long established storylines, like threads that run for a long time. Like The Fiend, Bray Wyatt and Strowman, they're going a
right.
couple of years back. Like Edge and Orton went a couple of years back. Um,
Yep.
who else has a couple of years back? Like even a couple of months back stories. Like they had to change everything on the fly. Um, but
Right.
could we do like once again we get back to writing. We get back to writing. It's like how can we make these stories better? And
Right. Like yeah. I mean like because I mean, would I if I were to make these matches, a lot of these matches are matches that I would have probably have happen, but it's just like it's just the lead up and the build up to a lot of them. It's just very lukewarm. You're used to like going into these pay per views with like tons of excitement and just like tons of buzz and like you're like with a lot more matches than just one or two. Like you're getting excited for all of them, um, but not these
we
days.
also had a change in creative as well.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, so I mean, we can give as much excuses or whatever, but
yeah,
yeah, these are people that have been doing this job for a lot longer than we have. Uh,
I've been watching it, but not yeah.
and it's the year 2020, so um, everything's everything has a silver lining somewhere, I guess. But but like you said, you bring up the Bray Wyatt and the fan and bringing like keeping the story like he's coming off a storyline from years ago, and it's just like keeping that memory and just building that storyline back up. That's by far the best thing that's going on because people are familiar with it and have been familiar with it for so long.
Which is why you talking
Um,
about Randy and Bray Wyatt.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's got there because I mean, he's running out of as far as Bray Wyatt goes. He's completed his circle with a lot of people. Um, so it's like at one point is that good? Like that needs to happen. So now it's just a matter of how do we get to that point, and we kind of have to. And we're already again really who's next after Strowman. There really isn't too many people left on his list. Um, so you find a way that he can actually get his hands on Randy Orton, and if that's at Clash of Champions, which could then continue all the way to Survivor Series or something like that. Um, I think would be huge because that's going to need a long time, a long feud. um, so
Yeah. I don't
that's
know
like
what's gonna happen with.
like the question after that, of like who's next after that, like, or how does he how's he going to keep his character going, or is like is there going to be a point where the Fiend is like completely just exposed and just like explodes and you know goes on a rampage, and it doesn't matter who uh, he's had a history with or anything. If he's just creating everything is going to be created new. He's no longer going from the past to the present. He's just in the present the entire time.
Well, he's gonna have to because he's gonna run out of the past.
Right, right. So that's kind of like is that going to be a change in the Fiend? Because they keep saying after each feud, his uh, his mask changes and becomes more like pieces of his like face or like coming off or something like
So
that.
those are
So it's
all
like
finite. Like there's only so far you can stretch his mouth and his eyes.
right, right, right. But I'm always
And it's like how are they gonna get Undertaker longevity out of the Fiend? Because they absolutely can. Like that is such a great
mm-hmm.
character.
Yeah, yeah. They will. I mean, right now, and again, I think right now with Roman Reigns gone and out of the picture for the right now and for the future, as of now, this is the time for him to just really have the whole world in his hands. And
We should rename this blog to the Fiend Show. Firefly Fiend Funhouse.
it's so hard not to just because it's like
It's like the
it's
only
just
thing that well, not the only thing
we
we
have
have.
no, but that's what we have to talk about. Like everything else, we can talk about other things, but It
It's
doesn't. It's
fun.
not. There's nothing substantial about it. We can talk it. We can talk about it as good as the storyline is. Um, so that's why this episode we talk a lot about NXT because there's a lot of things happening in NXT, and we talk about Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, um, and everything else was just kind of just fill-ins because there's no. It just fills in the cracks and the empty spaces. It doesn't stand alone. Um,
I was hoping the Nation
so
of Domination. You had texted me. I don't know if we.
yeah,
That would have been
yeah.
cool. Nation of
It
Domination would have been perfect to debut at Raw Underground.
was like the day after online. I was just on social media. It was an idea, it was a plan, but they decided to not do it. And I'm like, oh, come on. Especially with the whole Black Lives Matter thing going on. Like, you could have really capitalized and brought back Nation Domination.
With Apollo Crews
And
as being part of the like
like
he's got this heel turn.
the, the heel turn into that would have been amazing. MVP being the mouth and he still can fight, but mainly, pissing people off. Bobby Lashley doesn't need to talk at all. Uh, Shelton Benjamin and Apollo Crews could either partner up or I mean, Shelton Benjamin can always hold his own and go after, you know, Intercontinental title or something like that. Like, because he can, I'm sure he can still
Shelton
do his
Benjamin?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
a dude, like Shelton Benjamin, he never like rose high, but he always reminded me of Kurt Angle.
He always had the golden standard, I've always liked him. But yeah, that really got me excited when I heard about Domination coming back. I'm just like, yes. Like how any other time WWE is always what's trending, what's politically or whatever, just worldwide, just in that. And it's like they had like this whole Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on in the world right now. I mean, it's always whatever, but it's in the news like that, and like they had Keith Lee come out and he had a Black Lives Matter shirt on and whatever, but it's just like you can really just take advantage of that and have that stable come back and create magic amongst mayhem. That's what they've always done. So
Yeah.
why not do it now? Like why are you holding back now?
I think, dude, I think they're really cut at the knees.
And talk about ratings. I mean that we can get ratings from all over the place. Good or bad. If people are
Well,
watching it, that's all good, and it's all good. Um,
yeah, I just don't think how legitimate the ratings are going to be. Like, they're not going to be legitimate for long because more and more people are cutting the cord, right? So you're looking at as we're looking at
right,
that as a metric, but ultimately you look at their social media presence, and they're one of the biggest social media presences in social media, no?
right,
I mean, they're
right.
followed
Yeah,
by, tens of millions of people.
yeah. And then maybe there's a lot of things that they have. You know, there's stuff that they could do now, but they're holding off on doing it later.
Yeah, I think that like a
Um,
lot of this year is that 2020 is as much as like, we've complained about it. I'm kind of done complaining about it. Now I just want to watch like whatever's interesting, and NXT seems to be it. And I'm gonna check a little more AEW. Um,
mhm.
but ultimately, it's you know, I'm just that those things are not captivating me. Doesn't mean they're not captivating other people. Maybe they are. But for me, I'm like,
Right,
damn, dude. Like, I just like even like Sasha Banks used to be way more important. Like all their worth is like come down. Like they're like
right.
and all of a sudden like we are as opposed to I don't know how you can make people like how you can get someone over without a crowd. Like I don't know, like what do they look at? Do they look at social media, which turns every like week somewhere else? You know, you say one wrong thing or you do one wrong gesture and immediately they turn against you and you're gone. That's kind of scary. Like they want to maintain their image so that I don't know, man. We're speculating here a lot. We always speculate on this. I do. Um,
Oh
um,
yeah,
so for me, like Nation of Domination would have been a thing from the past, which was great. Um,
right.
it would just be something like, well, who knows? Then we'll complain that they're not using them right, or it's like, oh, they're ruining Nation of Domination. It's it's never good enough. Um,
True.
um, that would have been
But,
fun though. Like, but what I'm also hoping there is that like Um, I don't know. I still feel like Bobby Lashley doesn't need to talk. Bobby Lashley doesn't need to do shit. Bobby Lashley's a wrecking machine. He's like a version of Strowman, and I feel like they've just like it Raw Underground. Like Bobby Lashley could have just killed everybody, annihilated everybody.
right.
Like I keep saying, he's like if you want a next Goldberg, here he is, right there, just sitting for you. And you just keep giving him this, like, he's got a smaller guy doing his talking. Like, Bobby Lashley does not need to talk. That's
No,
that's
but
just my view, though. Like, that's like, I feel like I would just set up Bobby Lashley with just, and then that's like, I also like, jobbers. Which is not the polite term, I guess, like Leon Hart, that's my boy.
yeah,
That's I
yeah.
think that's my favorite wrestler. Wrestler, he's my favorite wrestler outside of the Fiend is my boy Leon Hart. But like we used to have those, you would have a lot of jobbers on your roster, and I don't know how to polite enhancement talent, I believe. And then you have how you build people up is they squash them, like they just annihilate them. And Bobby Lashley could have been there. Like I think Bobby Lashley, I mean, he just looks like he can whip your ass, like you don't want to fuck with Bobby Lashley. And now,
Right,
but he
right.
doesn't have that weight anymore. Now it's like Bobby Lashley with Lana was a joke. He's kind of a joke now, and he shouldn't be. So that's one example
Right.
where I like do I like I don't know better than WWE. Like I'm not like I'm just want what I want to see. So, but getting to the Nation of Domination would have been cool because that is like you can bring your older fans in a little bit. People
Right.
who like if there were 10 million people total watching during the Attitude Era or the Monday Night Wars era.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a lot of people who are not watching now.
And like, I mean, you could, I mean, easily just pop the name up, and it instantly becomes, oh yeah, like you remember that name. It's like, you know, so we'll carry on the traditions, you know, and I would just love to hear that music again, though.
We are the nation, nation of domination. Yeah, D'Lo Brown there shaking his
Oh,
head.
man.
Remember that?
It's like he was like the Chris Jericho entrance just in fast forward motion. The arms out and then his head's just shaking.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
a bobblehead
I
before
don't know
bobbleheads were bobbleheads.
why that came out, but yeah, I just think it would have been perfect
Oh yeah,
time.
but you also like somebody like Farouk. How cool was Farouk, man?
Hey, why not? He's still around. I
Damn.
mean, you could have him, you know, you know, and then you have JBL start.
We just have like all these people. It's like a fake Diesel. Like we just have all these people, all the new guys. We'll just rename them the old wrestlers. And you have a fake Rock. You have somebody like
um, But yeah, so but before we end, I was gonna do a little thing. I did not mention this. I actually thought about it right before we came on live, but I'll say we could like shout out like birthdays that are gonna happen within the week
If you want to
in
keep track of
wrestling.
that.
I mean,
D-
I just haven't, but like it's just like yeah, I don't
cool.
mind for sure,
Let's do
but
it.
some just for some kind of standouts, but actually today, happy birthday today to Dino Bravo
Oh,
and
damn, man. That's a,
Tony.
we're digging deep.
Yeah, they're just on this list. Late and then until next week, until next time you see us, Sable, Shayna Baszler, Alexa Bliss, Typhoon, um, and Hulk Hogan all have
Yeah.
birthdays coming
Well,
up
happy
this week.
birthday.
Uh,
Uh,
the Hulk Hogan is going to be 67 years old.
Damn. I'm pretty close to Clearwater Beach or Clearwater, Florida,
Okay.
Tampa. Um, and I'm gonna go wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, actually, then a surprising one is Shayna Baszler. She's going to be 40.
40. Wow.
40 years old. Yeah. Yeah. So,
She
and
was involved
I
in
was like,
Raw
wait,
last
what?
week, so
Yeah, she was, yeah. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. It's not like at this point I don't even think it's Shayna Baszler. So, um,
Right.
but yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
We can
Happy
shout
birthday,
out
guys.
birthdays
Yeah.
to anybody who wants a shout out at this point, since we just started our channel. So if you have a birthday and you want us to tell you, wish you happy birthday, just put it in the comments below, and we will match your birthday up with a WWE
Yeah,
superstar. And if there isn't one, we'll make it up.
there you go.
We will make your
There you
day
go.
either way. He's like,
I don't know what made me think of it. But I was like, no. It was just like throw a
well, they have them on
little thing
YouTube.
in.
They have them on YouTube. Like when you scroll down, it's like, oh, WWE, happy birthday to so and so, happy birthday to so and so. You know, but it's better on the
Right.
Jobber Report.
Yeah, because
That's
everything's
right.
better
That's right.
on the
We're
top
having fun,
report.
man. We're
So,
enjoying ourselves. We're watching wrestling. We're
right.
trying to get back into it. We're big fans. We're Marks. I'm Mark. I don't know if you call yourself a Mark, but I'm a definite Mark.
I just call myself
No.
Big Dan.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Everybody's trying to make a Mark. Not all of them land.
No, but
Actually, no. Everybody's always trying to question Mark.
the question mark. He's a uh, he's a wrestler in the
Is it?
NWA.
Is
Yeah.
there like what's the Invisible
Yep.
Man? Is that?
No, I don't know. He's not down there yet. No, no. But they do it with a question mark. Uh, actually, it's actually a pretty decent character. I got to start watching NWA again.
There's too many,
Um,
like too much wrestling
again,
to watch, man.
yeah, but NWA is a little like that's
I
hour
like
long.
that.
It's and it's on YouTube, so you can always just go back and just watch it. Um, and they fit a lot into an hour because it's completely different wrestling. It's very quick to the point. I mean, you could have a solid match and it's only 6 minutes long, 7 minutes long. You're like,
And
wow, just because it's quick and it's fast, but it's not like
it's not just bam,
you
bam,
know
bam, bam.
jump. Oh yeah, it's not like it's just it's very well done. It's just a completely it's old school wrestling, just in a new era. But I haven't watched any of this season yet. Um, but I really got to start. I want to get back
It's
into
like
it because I enjoyed watching it.
I'm like wrestled
There's-
out, like too much Raw, too much SmackDown.
Right.
I like watching the recaps.
That's where it's like, okay, maybe like now you're sprinkling in NXT, so that's kind of like, you know it's like once you're like eating the same food, you get really bored of it. But then all of a sudden you change up like one ingredient and you're like, oh wow, this
Yeah,
tastes really good.
true, true.
So it's like, that's what I'll do. I'll watch NWA, especially since it's only an hour long. So you could watch 2 or 3 episodes as like a raw. But
I like that, dude. Like 1 hour long wrestling shows are great right now.
it's yeah, and it's like they only have an hour, so they have to um, put as much into that hour and make sure that a lot of the times I'll be watching it and all of a sudden it's over with and you're like, oh wow, and it's like it's already over, but it felt like you know 2 hours. Like there was enough content in um, that hour or so.
Yeah, to fill it in.
Yeah, I gotta get back into watching that. But anyway, um,
Well, thanks for telling me about pushing NXT. I did enjoy
oh
it.
yeah, for sure. It's kind of like pushing the Fiend on you too. Uh, Back in the day,
Well, I mean, yeah, the
but no,
Fiend got me back into wrestling,
it's
so
really right, right. It's I mean, why not just put the light on the bright spots of wrestling right
that's
now? I
right.
mean, we're having a hard time, so it's like NXT is doing their thing, and you know maybe I'll check out see why AEW rating went up, and
Well,
you know,
they're half the viewership of Raw, so it didn't used to be that, but they're
yeah,
growing, man. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be
yeah.
interesting. Raw Underground, whatever. I can't. Just put it that way. It's just it was a
We can't.
dud for us.
It's already under. Like how are they gonna put it
Oh,
over if it's under? That's just it's already
I feel
buried.
like old people, but
So
whatever. I like what I like at this point in my life. But we've hit about two
exactly.
hours, man. We uh we covered
Yeah,
what we needed
yeah.
to cover.
Well,
Um yeah. Stay watching NXT.
let's see what we got. Today's the 7th. No, today's the 6th. So we got about 2.5 weeks till SummerSlam. Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown. Um, yeah.
Well,
So
the Fiend
uh,
will have a
yeah,
chance.
yeah, man. I hope we see Strowman. I mean, I think we should. Um, whether he's there or if it's on video
He's
or
gonna be a little
something, I don't know.
mossy.
Hopefully he's not. Hopefully she's still not wet. I don't know, just because I think that's just it's a lot of
Oh
bacterial
God, yeah,
issues.
he's got a yeast infection.
But yeah, yeah, everybody out there, make sure you tap that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it, follow us on Twitter at the Jawber Report. We post a lot of videos, a lot of subjects we can talk about.
Yeah, if you have suggestions on things you'd like to hear or ideas on what you want us to talk about too, that'd be kind of fun. If you're a fan of the previous eras, we're pretty well versed on the Attitude Era more than anything else. Because for me, I know that's when I grew up. So, but if you want to talk about anything, if there's any pay-per-views anybody wants to watch, do a watch along with us. Maybe we can do like one watch along pay-per-views. That'd be kind of fun, like an old pay-per-view.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, but keep looking out for us and keep supporting us as you can. And yeah, we'll keep coming back. We're not
Yeah,
going anywhere.
we're like a bad case of
So
herpes. We keep on itching. Maybe Big D doesn't want to be a case of herpes, but I thought it was funny. Okay, we're not a case of herpes. We're I, okay, how about we end this with a horrible joke?
yeah,
Hey man, you gotta bomb sometimes.
you do, you do, you do. But yeah. So, but thank you again. This is Big D. Yeah, Max Jaw. We are the Jobber Report, and we'll see you next week.
Same time, same bad channel.